Happy days, my fantastic friends, welcome back. We're going to do a nice big foggy painting today, and the two colours that I will be using today is black and white, and that's it. We'll get a variant of the blacks and the white tones, obviously mixing them together we'll get grey. It's such a foggy day where we are up here in Yorkshire. Winter really has set in, it's on its way folks, it's going to be a golden. So I want to try and get that down on canvas, and I'm sure you'll enjoy this one. Now I usually try and do these kind of paintings off camera, that can be quite difficult at times, but I thought let's try and do this one in 25 minutes. I'm sure you'll enjoy it, I'm sure you will. So with a bit of black paint on this midnight black on the 1-inch brush, we're just swirling in a nice little sky. It's going to be a subdued little painting, a vignette. It's basically going to have no real borders on this one, and it's going to be so soft, so foggy, so just you'll see at the end. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. So 1-inch brush, black paint, and we're just putting in some nice little sky type patterns, I suppose. No big clouds in this one. All we're doing is just leaving little light spots in the sky, and then we'll have grey spots, and then we'll have black spots up in the corners like you can see. Just blend it all together, make it so soft and so delicate. It's great having a limited palette because it really makes you work the equipment rather than the paints, and it's just fantastic. It just is. So with the sky, just like that's all we're going to do for the sky. We'll come back, maybe even blend him out a little bit more, but we're going to have some water down here. You know me, I absolutely love water. Water is probably one of the most beautifulest things to paint, and you know, I live by a river, you know, and love the seaside, so water is just fantastic to me. So let's get some water in there. So from the outside in, all we're doing is putting some little black streaks, and of course that'll mix with the liquid white that's on there, and what we'll get is a nice grey like pond, but it's going to be steamy. It's going to be foggy, not steamy. It's going to be cold, but not distastefully cold. So with the big 2-inch dry and clean brush, we're just going to blend all this together. We're going to smooth everything out. Everything has to be smooth. Everything has to be just right in this one. No harshness. That's all we're doing. Just blend it all together. Now I'm going to try something new on this video as well. We're going to zoom in where I do a bit detailed parts, just like now. So I've got a large rounded over brush. Now this is just a normal 1-inch brush, and I've just clipped the edges so it's slightly rounded over, like a big filbert I suppose, but I've made my own instead of going out and buying one. You know what Yorkshiremen are like. So all we're doing is creating some far away little tree shapes, just looking for the basic outside lines of these trees, nothing too detaily. And the more you tap with this, the more you tap on the canvas, the lighter the paint will become, and the more softer it will become as well. Like I said, it's really foggy up here in Yorkshire. It probably is wherever you're watching as well in the country. Just like that, we're just putting some far away trees. Now, must apologise, my arm gets in the way on this painting a few times, so you'll have to bear with me. I can't do it without my arm. Lost a little hair there. It happens. Again, we're just tapping in some trees. Think about individual trees as well. We're not just hitting at random. I know it looks like it, but we're working on one tree at a time. Just like that. Just like that. And this rounded over brush, it really makes nice little shapes. It really does work wonders. Now in between these first few trees that I put on, there's hardly any paint left on the brush. I'm going back just like this, and I'm just going to put some far away indications of some trees that are set way back in the mist and in the fog. Because there's no paint really on the camera, on the paintbrush, we can do that. It's that easy. Now big dry brush, we're going to knock some mist, some fog into the base of these trees, just like this. Just really hitting it as hard as you can, and it'll blend with the liquid white that's underneath, and it'll smooth out and it'll become all foggy. Trust me, it takes a while to do. You've got to really work this. This is where you pretend you're playing a drum or something like that. Just like that. nearly knocked the easel over. Which I've done a few times, trust me. Yeah, we're just really hitting the canvas pretty hard, trying to smush and blend all those colours together. Again, it's only black and white, but we're trying to diffuse the base there, and it'll create a lovely foggy scene right down at the bottom. So soft, so soft. Now with a script liner brush, and again, this is where my little arm gets in. Where, look at me, holding my little finger out. Do that for balance. But we've got some thin paint, the same colour that we painted the trees with, but all we're doing is putting in the indication of a few little tree trunks. Just way back. You can hardly tell that they're there. Every now and again you'll pick one out. Just see it. Just like that. Just like that. Just nice and soft. And this is made with paint thinner into that grey colour that we painted the trees with. Just like that. And it helps if you have got a wobbly arm like I have. A little bit of a nervous twitch in my arm. It gives a lovely tree shape. Because we don't like telegraph poles. We want some variety in our trees. There we go. Just like that. You can see it better there. There we go. Just a few more. Again, you won't tell that they're there unless you really look. They make you look for hours at these kind of paintings. They make you look for hours at them. So, we need something in the middle ground here, so a nice little peninsula or a projection. Again with that same brush, we haven't cleaned it, now we're touching a little bit of a darker colour, so it's just black. Just adding black to that white and grey paint that we're making. And we're just tapping. And we're leaving open areas. And we're tapping in other places. We don't have to do much. These are the kind of simple paintings where we don't have to do much. But what we do is stunning. Again, that dry brush just really diffuse the base of that little projection. Just really diffuse that base. Again, we want this little peninsula just sat out in some fog. Like we said, it's a really foggy day. You're gonna have your fog lamps on your car. Here we go. Just like that. Just blending nice and gently out. Take it into nothing. You can take it into nothing. Go back to the liner brush again. We're just using a few colours and a few pieces of equipment. Small handful of brushes, palette, couple of paints, and that's it. That's it. That's all we need. Obviously a canvas to paint on. And we'll put some little sticks, small little tree trunks that live out on this projection. We'll do shadow puppets here. So we said there was some water here, so we'll have some of this down into the reflection. And you can hardly make some of these reflections out because of the fog, but they're there. That's where they are. Pull down with that dry brush and then gently across, and then that will give instant reflections. Instant reflections. Now let's have something on this side. So we want to take the eye for a wander around the painting. So we'll have something on this side. Exactly the same method. That rounded over brush that we made. With a bit more of the black paint into this one. We made it slightly darker. As things get closer to us in nature, they become a little bit more darker. a little bit more detailed. And all we're doing is just tapping. I'm sure anybody who could do this, tap, 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 I'm sure you could paint this. I'm sure you could. We'll have some reflections in this one. It's a bit closer to us, so you might be able to see the bank on this one. So we'll pull some of that down. Just as instant reflections, just like that. We'll come back and we'll play about with this. Just like so. Just like that. A few little doofers here. You could spend hours doing this. Now let's have a big tree on this. So with a little round brush, a bit of, what I've done here is I've loaded the paintbrush with black paint and then gone through one side of the brush only with the grey paint, and that will give a highlight and a shadow in one stroke. It's called double loading the paintbrush, and it's quite a sneaky, lazy technique, but it works really well. It really does. So easy. In one stroke you could create the highlights and shadows of the tree. It's just so easy. So there we have it. Let's give him an arm. There we go. Just wobble him down into the trunk. Just like that. There we have it. There we have it. Widen the base of this reflection a little bit. Just like that. Now, back to the script liner brush with some paint thinner and the dark grey colour that we've made. Again, my arm's in the way, but I do apologise. But we're just putting in some twigs and sticks, something to add some leaves to. There we go. You see that? Just about make out. You've got to have your paint really thin for this, like ink. It's got to be really thin, or it won't flow. That's it, just like that. Again, you can add as many as you want, or as few as you want. Maybe the tree's died, it's losing all its twigs. Maybe it's in full flight and you want it absolutely covered in twigs and sticks. You can do that. No rules. There's no rules. Again, we're going to put some foliage on this. So we'll just put some little twigs out here just to hold all that foliage up. And get me out of that way. Come on. That's it. We'll put a few down here. There's usually a few little sticks and stuff growing around the base of tree trunks in there. Reflect some of that as well. There we go. Maybe put another one up. Somewhere for the kingfisher to sit. Just like that. There we go. And again, because I'm using like a thin paint, the more we use that, it becomes lighter in time. That makes sense. Just put some reflections there, diffuse those sharp sides of the tree trunk in the water. Now with the same technique that we used to create the land with, we just rounded over brush, just putting in some little leaves, some foliage up here in this tree. Make it slightly darker in places, and make it a little bit lighter in other places. Give a variant of colours. The more you tap, the softer these leaves become. There we go. There we go. Neaten it down here. A bit more reflection. lightly across, instant reflections. Looking like an old sepia photograph, isn't it? Right, let's put in a bit of a waterline, so some whites right on the edge of the knife. All we're going to do is cut straight across, and the knife is parallel to the base of the canvas. Parallel to the base of the canvas. And that way the water looks level. If you had the knife at a slight angle, it'd be like water is running uphill, and it can distract the eye. Now I'm coming around a little bit of a bend here, but I'm still keeping the knife parallel to the base of the canvas. There we go. Bit of a water line separates that. Just like that. We'll have some ripples in the water as well. Again, it's foggy, so you can't pick everything out, but a few ripples here and there. Happy days, happy days. Now then, we need some on the other side. So same scenario again, but we've not even cleaned the brush, but we just keep adding more paint. This has got a lot more blacker colours to it. Just tap. Just tapping away. Creates all these kind of little undergrowth sort of foliage patterns. It's fantastic. It really is. And we'll have this little peninsula as well, sitting in some fog. Like I said, it's a good old foggy day where we are. Bit of an head shot there. So let's add some white to this. I've got a 1-inch brush, that's it. We'll just add some white to that base. And what we're doing is creating some more fog. We've got the white and we've got the black. And we'll join them together and really tap, blend everything together and create it like it's sitting there. A nice misty, foggy, I don't even know what to call it. It's like a cloud that's fallen out of the sky, I suppose. Nice misty, foggy area. There we go. Just like that. Look at the depth we're creating. Look at the depth we've created. And some more of that white to this side will create some more fog. And all we're doing is just blending everything that's on that canvas. We're just diffusing the harsh edges. That's it. Right, bring it right the way down. Right the way down. All the way across. There we go. So I think we need a tree on this peninsula. So same thing again. Little round brush, double loaded, black. On one side it's got the grey paint on. We'll just wibble wobble. Yep. Big old tree trunk. Big old gnarly tree trunk. Down there. Just like that. Make him have some big feet. Let's widen him up a bit. Let's give him another arm. So up here. Again, it helps if you've got a little bit of a wobble. You don't want a British Telecom to come and chop him down and make a telegraph pole out of him, do we? There we go, we'll just fill that in. Usually trees are wider at the base than they are at the top. There we go. You can pull the roots down. Just like that. Easy peasy. A little bit more white paint on that brush. I haven't cleaned the brush. I just picked up some white paint, so it'll instantly make a grey colour. And we'll just put in some barky kind of effects. That's a word, is bark here a word? Tree skin. So gotta be careful how I say that. Tree skin. We'll highlight this arm here as well. I do like these sour seeds. They're like you could just get lost in there, couldn't you? Take your little picnic and a fishing rod, and you could just get lost in the fog. There we go. Just like that. Bring him down to his feet. Pull out the old roots. There we've got it. There we've got it. Now, same thing again. My arm's going to get in the way while I'm painting some thinner sticks and branches and twigs and all sorts on there, so I do forgive my arm. So again, it's just made with thin, really thin liquid. It's paint thinner. We'll mix it with the black, the greys, and it flows right off the brush. The script liner brush has got really long bristles, about 1 inch long. So you could really load this little tiny brush up with a lot of ink, but with a lot of paint. It's got a flow like it. Put some foliage eventually on top of this, so a sneaky little way here. If you get a stick that you don't like, it's ended up being too thick or it's in the wrong place, we can cover it up with some foliage, some leaves and things like that. There we have it. You could, like I said before, you could spend absolute an age creating all sorts of nice little things that live up here. I have a couple more sticks down here. There we go. Somewhere for the old kingfisher to sit. There we go. Just like that. Happy days. Few there. Wherever they want to be. That's where they should be. Put a bit more dark colour on this. Play with now. Not to be cracking on. Like, you could play for hours. Let's mist all that up again. I'm holding the canvas. I don't want this one crashing to the floor. With a firm dry brush, all we're doing is smudging it all together. And let's put another water line. Again, just some thin white paint right on the edge of the palette knife. And we're just going to cut in a little water line that can just about make it out between the fog. And this will separate the areas, so you know where land starts, where water starts. Let's put some twigs and stuff right up here. So same half round brush, or rounded over brush, I don't even, large filbert, I don't know what we call it. Homemade, that's what it is. And we just put in some leaves. And we're just touching, tap, tap, tap. That's basically all we've done this painting. A few colours, a little bit of technique, and that's it. Give him some weeds and stuff around his feet. Happy days. Yes, it does look like an old sepia photograph, doesn't it? Very enjoyable to do. Let's sign this one. So we'll use a different colour for this. I usually go for a red colour. We've got crimson down here. I initial this one and I'll sign the back. But did you enjoy it, my fantastic friends? If so, let me know. Give me a nice comment. Give me a like. Give me a subscribe. You know what to do, my fantastic friends. Until next time, I'll see you all later, and as always, happy days.